Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Agnanatimidandasya Gnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namini. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharini. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatharini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we'll start with nice shloka which is there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, which glorifies the Lord and his devotees. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, self-explanatory. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda. Jaya means all glories. In local language also we use this word Jai. Jaya Shri Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Shri Advaita, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Glories to Shri Advaita Acharya and all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya. Because without their mercy we cannot enter into Chaitanya Lila. Okay, so all of us mostly know about Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. So he appeared in 1486 AD, 1486 AD, and he was visible on this planet for 48 years. He appeared in a place called Nadia in Bengal. And for the first 24 years, he was called Vishwambara or Nimai, and also Nimai Pandit. So there are multiple names. Vishwambara means Ambara, means umbrella or shelter. He was the shelter of the whole world. His name was Vishwambara. And Nimai Pandit, he was actually a big scholar. At a very young age, he had achieved mastery over so many subjects, Vyakarana, Kavya, etc., etc. So first 24 years, he lives and he gets married, and then he lives like a grasta for 24 years. And then at the age of 24, he takes sannyas. And the next 24 years, that is the last 24 years of his presence in this material world, manifest presence in this material world, he lived in Jagannath Puri. And of those last 24 years, first 6 years, he travels all over South India, making pretty much whole of South India, and South India became devotees of Krishna because of the mercy of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. But the last 18 years, he stayed in practically one place, which was Jagannath Puri. And even today, if we go, we can go to this place called Gambhira, which is the most exalted place in the universe, because Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stayed there for all those 18 years, experiencing ecstatic emotions of love for Krishna. And these emotions are actually described in Antya Lila of Chaitanya Charitamrita. So all of you should have Chaitanya Charitamrita. If you don't have, you should please get a copy and please read it. And Antya Lila is Achintya, is unexplainable, ununderstandable, everything un we can add to that. It's the kind of emotions that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is expressing, we just cannot understand in our current condition state. But it is to give a glimpse of a prema which actually no normal human being can achieve. It is just to show what it is to be in love with Krishna, which, like I said, we cannot understand. Because what was expressed there was what is called as Mahabhava, which is only a Nitya Siddha. Actually, Radharani can experience this. But it purifies us, purifies us, and we also understand how exalted this love for Krishna is. So the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared. Now, what we will try to understand today. Okay, since we are doing, I don't know how many sessions all of us will join. So in the Kannada session, I also read the verses, which is actually it's very nice to read the verses, but I'm just wary about how much time we have. So I don't know. I mean, if all of you suggest that I read the Bengali, then I can read. Otherwise, I can directly deal with the English based on whatever feedback you want to give. If you think we can do this Bengali, we'll do this Bengali as well. Any thoughts?
Yeah, we can do the Bengali poet. Sounds nice.
Do the Bengali? Yeah, it's beautiful actually. It's Amrita. It's Amrita. It's nectar. Okay, so I'm reading from those who have Chaitanya Charitamrita with you. You can refer to Adi Lila, chapter 3, verse 5. Purna Bhagavana Krishna Vrajendra Kumara Goloke Vrajera Saha Nitya Vihara. Purna Bhagavan Krishna. And Bengali is very easy to understand, and especially Chaitanya Charitamrita. Purna Bhagavan Krishna. Purna Bhagavan. So Krishna is Purna Bhagavan. There is Purna. So Krishna is Purna Tama. Actually, there is Purna, Purnatara, Purnatama. Complete, more complete, most complete. Krishna is the most complete Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because there are other expansions of Krishna which are considered less complete than Krishna. So he is Purna. So this Purna Bhagavan, Krishna, is Brajendra Kumara. Brajendra, Brajabhumi is Sri Vrindavan Dham, where the Lord appears in on this material world. So we'll discuss when he appears, Krishna appears. But he is Brajendra Kumara. Um, he enjoys his pastimes there. He's the son of King of Raja. And Goloke Vrajera Saha Nitya Vihara. And he enjoys transcendental pastimes in Goloka, which includes Rajadama. Brahmara Eka Dine Tino Eka Bara Avatirna Hoya Karena Prakata Vihara. Once in a day of Brahma, he descends to this world to manifest his transcendental pastimes. So Krishna appears once in a day of Brahma. Okay, so now we will understand what is the day of Brahma. What does a day of Brahma mean? Satya Treta Dwapara Kali Chari Yuga Jani Se Chari Yuge Divya Eka Yuga Mani. So there are 4 yugas: Satya, Treta, Dwapara, and Kali. These 4 yugas together is called one Divya Yuga. And 71 Divya Yugas, 71 Divya Yugas. One Divya Yuga is all those 4 yugas together. 71 Divya Yugas form one Manvantara. And in a day of Brahma, Brahma lives for 100 years. In his day and night are separated. In his day, there are 14 Manus. So one Manu, he lives for a period of 71 Divya Yugas. 71 Divya Yugas. Okay, so long life. Now there are 14 Manus. 14 Manus. So I am just name them. Swayambhuva, Swarochisha, Uttama, Tamasa, Raivata, Chakshusha, Vaivasvata. So this present Manu is called Vaivasvata. Vaivasvata Manu. Savarni, Daksha Savarni, Brahma Savarni, Dharma Savarni, Rudra Savarni, Deva Savarni, and Indra Savarni. So these are 14 Manus. And there is a 7th Manu who is called Vaivasvata Manu. during the period of the 7th Manu, Krishna appears one in the 28th cycle, 28th Divya Yuga, the Dwapar Yuga of that 28th Divya Yuga. So you should remember, we should try to remember all this, because see, by trying to remember Krishna conscious facts, we purify our intelligence. And that is another way of actually purifying us, by remembering shlokas, remembering facts like this, which is difficult sometimes, but good to practice. So he appears once in a day of Brahma during the 28th Chaturyuga of the 7th Manu, and he appears in Dwapar Yuga always. Okay, so this is once in a day of Brahma, Krishna appears. And what does he do when Krishna appears? What does he do? So he says, Dasya Sakhya Vatsalya Shingara Chari Rasa Chari Bhavera Bhakta Yata Krishna Tara Vasha. So there are 4 rasas, which is Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya. And there are devotees who cherish these 4 mellows. So there are his eternal devotees in Goloka, in Vrindavan, who engage in service in the mode of Dasya, Sakhya, Vatsalya, and Madhurya or Shingara. And by these devotees, Krishna Tara Vasha. This is beautiful. Krishna Tara Vasha. Vasha means he subdued, captured. So Krishna becomes captured, subdued by these devotees of his who are engaged in serving him in these 4 rasas. Dasa Sakha Pita Mata Kanta Ganalana Raje Krida Kare Krishna Prema Vishta Haya. Absorbed in such transcendental love, Lord Sri Krishna enjoys in Vraja and his devoted servants, friends, parents, with his devoted servants, friends, parents, and conjugal lovers. Now, the beauty about Vrindavan, Goloka Vrindavan, is that all these 4 rasas exist, but there's a very unique quality. And this is what differentiates Vaikunta from Goloka. And this is very nice. Yateshta Vihari Krishna Kare Antardhana Kari Mane Kare Anumana. So Lord Krishna enjoys his transcendental pastimes as long as he wishes, and then he disappears. Though it is said that he is normally present on this earth for 125 years, there is no ruling, there is no imposition on him. He can do whatever he likes. So he enjoys his pastimes, and once he's done, then he decides to disappear. Now, this is the beautiful part. After disappearing, what is Krishna thinking? Krishna appears, does his pastimes, and then after 125 years, he leaves, and when he leaves, he thinks about something, and this is beautiful. Okay. Chirakala nahi kari prema bhakti dana bhakti vina jagatera nahi avasthana. Chirakala, for a long time, nahi kari, I have not done prema bhakti dana. I have not given this prema bhakti. Bhakti vina, without bhakti. Jagatera nahi avasthana. The universe will not exist, will cease to exist if this bhakti, prema bhakti is not given. Krishna is thinking like this. Sakala jagate more kari vidhi bhakti vraja bhava paite nahi shakti. So this is the turning point of, love for Krishna and versus love for Narayana. So Krishna is saying here that in this world, mostly people engage in Vaidhi Bhakti. Vaidhi Bhakti is Bhakti, which normally we are all following right now, so that all of us understand that we are following Vaidhi Bhakti when we are doing chanting Hare Krishna, eating on prasadam, associating with devotees, reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, Chaitanya Charitamrita, following certain rules and regulations. Now this is called Vaidhi Bhakti. And Vaidhi Bhakti, Krishna is saying, Sakala Jagate, Morakari, Vidhi Bhakti. The whole world is engaged in Vaidhi Bhakti for me. But he's saying, Vidhi Bhakti Vraja Bhava Paite Nahi Shakti. This Vidhi Bhakti, this Vaidhi Bhakti doesn't have the power to give Vraja Bhava. So, which clearly is saying that the Vraja Bhava is different from the Vaikuntha Bhava. Okay, now why Vaikuntha Bhava, that he's going to explain next. Aishwarya Gnane The Sab Jagat Mishrita Aishwarya Shitila Preme Nahi Mora Prita. So Krishna is saying, see, this Vaidi Bhakti is Aishwarya Gnanete Sabha Jagata Mishrita. This whole world is in some sense mixed, mixed with this Aishwarya Bhava, this knowledge of opulence of Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Lord, is the most powerful, is the most opulent, etc., etc. This is Aishwarya Bhava. So Krishna is saying this whole world is mixed, whole devotion of the whole world is mixed with this Aishwarya Bhava. But he's saying Aishwarya Shitila Preme. Shitila means feebled. It intensity reduces. Uh, it becomes cold. Aishwarya Shitila Preme. So that prema which is lessened, or if Prabhupada is used the word enfeebled, feeble, it becomes feeble by this reverence, by this Aishwarya. Nahi Mora Prita. It doesn't attract me. So Krishna is saying that it doesn't attract me. This Vaidi Bhakti doesn't attract me. So we are in trouble. We are doing Vaidi Bhakti. Krishna is saying Vaidi Bhakti doesn't attract me. Aishwarya Gnane Vidhi Bhajana Kariya Vaikuntha Ke Yaya Chatur Vidamukti Paya. Aishwarya Gnane, if somebody has Aishwarya Gnana about Krishna, which means that he is all powerful, omniscient, all knowing, etc., etc. This is all Aishwarya. Or he is so powerful, so rich, etc., etc. Right? Shadaishwarya. Aishwarya Gnane Vidhi Bhajana Kariya. If one does this Vaidi Bhajan, Vaidi Bhakti, with the knowledge of the Aishwarya of Krishna, Vaikuntha Ke Yaya, he's going to go to Vaikuntha. Chaturvida Mukti Paya. So there are 4 types of mukti. Actually, there are 5. Krishna Kaviraj Goswami, he's the author of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. So he's saying in the next verse, Sasti Sarupya Ara Samipya Salokya Sayujya Na Laya Bhakta Yate Brahma Aikya. So he's saying there are 4 liberations. 5th one is Sayujya, which devotees are not interested in. The 4 are Sasti, which is achieving opulences equal to Krishna. Then there is Sarupya, which is having the same form as the Lord. Samipya, which is staying as personal associate of the Lord. And Salokya, which is living on the Vaikuntha planet. So these are 4 uh, forms of liberation, which are okay to be accepted by even devotees, but not Sayujya. Becoming one with Brahman, that is not acceptable for devotees. So this, so if one does this Vaidi Bhakti with the Aishwarya Bhav, then he will go to Vaikuntha and he can achieve one of these 4 types of liberation. Okay. Yuga Dharma Pravartaimu Nama Sankirtana Chari Bhava Bhakti Diya Nachamu Bhavana Bhuvana. So now he's saying, I shall now personally inaugurate the religion of the age. Yuga Dharma. What? Nama Sankirtana. I shall make the world dance in ecstasy, realizing the 4 mellows of loving devotional service. Now, what is the intention of this Nama Sankirtana? Is to make one realize the 4 mellows of devotional service. That means that if you engage in Nama Sankirtana, then we will get attached to Krishna in pure love in one of these 4 rasas. That is the idea of Nama Sankirtana. Apani karimu bhakta bhava angikare apani achari bhakti shikhaimu sabhare. And how will I teach this? How will I teach this Nama Sankirtana? Saying I'm going to come as a devotee with bhakti bhava. So I'll appear as a devotee with devotion. And then apani achari. And I will teach the world by my action. By my action. So this is very important for all preachers of Krishna consciousness. We should practice and then preach. And not that we simply think that we are some exalted uh, Lord's gift to mankind, and preach things that we are not following. That is not accepted. Okay, we should preach only whatever we are following, or at least we are trying to follow. आपने ना कैले धर्म शिखाना ना याया एत सिद्धांत गीता bhagavate gaya. Unless one practices devotional service himself, he cannot teach it to others. This conclusion is indeed confirmed throughout Gita and Bhagavatam. Now, he is saying, why do I appear? So, till now, what he has said, he said, see, this Vaidhi Bhakti doesn't attract me. Vaidhi Bhakti takes one to Vaikunta. Okay. But then, Braja Bhava is required. Now, what is this Braja Bhava? Braja Bhava is where the Brajavasis forget that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So, Krishna's friends, Krishna's parents, Nanda Maharaj, Yashoda, Krishna's girlfriends, the gopis. Now, they don't remember that Krishna is, or they are not doing bhakti for Krishna or loving Krishna because he is the Supreme Lord. They are loving Krishna because Krishna is lovable. Krishna is beautiful. Krishna is adorable. They are looking at other qualities in Krishna. They are not looking at, oh, he is the Supreme Lord. He is, Sarva Karana Karanam. They are not interested in all this. In fact, in Bhagavatam, we will read, during Ras Leela, Krishna suddenly disappears and gopis are searching for Krishna. And then Krishna wants to play a prank with them. So Krishna suddenly shows his Chaturbhuja Vishnu form. And then all the gopis come, look at Vishnu, Lord Vishnu. They offer obeisances, say, very respectfully. And they offer obeisances, etc. Then they ask, by the way, where is Krishna? Did Krishna come this way? They were not interested in Vishnu. So Vishnu is like, yeah, okay, you went this way. And then they go searching for Krishna. And then, of course, I mean, his acharyas say that, Krishna, but then after that, after gopis went past, then Radharani came, and Krishna actually could not, because of the love of Radharani, actually he could not maintain his Chaturbhuja form. He automatically got pushed to his normal, Sham Sundar form. Like this, like gopis are not in, and even Nanda Maharaj, all Yashoda Mata, or all the Gopas, so many demons are being killed. Krishna is lifting Govardhan on, like one little finger. Everybody looks at him and say, oh, he must be some wonderful, some amazing person. Once in a while, they think, maybe he's a demigod. Then Nanda Maharaj tells, no. See, Garga Muni came. When he came, he told that he's actually as good as Narayana. Oh, he's as good as Narayana. But then they keep forgetting. They just love him. They are not interested in thinking about him being Supreme Lord. Now, unless we come to this platform of Rajabhava, we cannot enter Goloka. We cannot become a devotee of Krishna. This is interesting, okay? All these years, we were not devotees of Krishna, at least visibly. And then today, we are trying to become devotees of Krishna. We are now understanding that Krishna's opulence, Krishna's position, etc., etc. Now we are hearing saying that we should forget all this. We should forget that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Interesting. So we should forget that Krishna is Supreme Lord, but we should still love Krishna. That is the difference between our previous position, where we had no relationship with Krishna, we had no knowledge of Krishna. Now we have some knowledge of Krishna, that is the Supreme Lord, etc. But as we go forward, that knowledge of Krishna should decrease and love for Krishna should increase to such an extent that the knowledge becomes hidden. It's not that we're going to forget this knowledge. Knowledge will be there. It becomes hidden. That means that it will not surface, because there are other things that we will become attracted with. So Krishna is now saying that why do people, what is the reason for Krishna's appearance in this world? Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bharata pyuttanam adharmasya tadatmanam sujamyam paitranaya sadhuna vinashaya chatushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Now Krishna is saying, okay, now people think that, okay, because of this dharma samsthapana, etc., I am appearing. But Krishna then says, see, Yuga Dharma Pravartana Hayam Shahaite Ama Vina Anyenare Braja Prematite. All the different amshas, expansions of Krishna have a reason for appearing. It's not like they're simply appearing without any context. So each of them have a role to play. For example, when Sri Rama came, he was Maryada Purushottama. Hmm. So when Narsimha came, he wanted to destroy evil. And protect his very dear devotee. So like this, each and every avatara, or technically it's called Amsha expansion, or Kala. So they have specific purposes. So Krishna is saying, see, my expansions will take care of this Yuga Dharma, of this Dharma Samsthapanarthaya and all that. I don't have to come to that. But he's saying, why should I come? Why do I come? I come for this reason. Amavina Anye Narer Prajaprema Dite. Apart from me, nobody else can give Krishna Prema, Vraja Prema, because nobody else knows what Vraja Prema is. Who knows Vraja Prema? Only Krishna knows. And his devotees know who stay in Goloka. Now, all the other Amshas of Krishna, they are there in Vaikuntha. They have their own places, but they don't experience Vraja Prema. So they don't know, so they can't give. So Krishna is saying, I come only to give Vraja Prema, not for anything else. How does he give Vraja Prema? He never talk about, Krishna never talks about Vraja Prema. He comes and then he destroys all these enemies and this and that and all that. Where is Vraja Prema? So Vraja Prema is, when those initial 11 years that he's in Vrajadham, he engages in beautiful, exchanges with his devotees. And then the whole, the whole Bhauma Leela, this is called Bhauma Leela. This is Leela performed on earth. This is called Bhauma Vrindavan. So the Goloka Vrindavan is in spiritual world, but a replica, Prabhupada calls it replica, a non-different. Replica is present in this material world and it is called Bhauma Vrindavan. And Krishna appears in Bhauma Vrindavan. Why? Actually, every person, before they can enter Goloka Vrindavan, they go through apprenticeship, training, to perfect them in Krishna Prema. They are actually sent to Bhauma Vrindavan. So technically, all of us, when we achieve that glorious stage of just, being eligible but not fully there to go to Goloka Vrindavan, we will be sent to Bhauma Vrindavan. So Krishna is giving opportunity for people like us who want to become sadhana siddhas, become perfect through sadhana. He wants to give us an opportunity for us to experience Krishna Prema as in that, like in Goloka Vrindavana, and perfect our lives. So he's actually giving Brajabhava. He is appearing to give Brajabhava, because whenever we reach that stage, we will be sent to that universe where Krishna is doing his pastimes. Hmm. So that is the reason why Krishna is appearing, not for, Kurukshetra war or killing all these other demons, etc., etc. That is anyway done by Vishnu aspect of Krishna. Krishna is coming for Raja Bhava, Raja Prema. So he's saying, Tahate apana bhakta gana kari sange prithivite avatari karimu nana range. So therefore, I will appear in the company of my devotees, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He'll appear as a devotee, he said. Now he's saying, I'm going to appear as a devotee along with other devotees. I shall appear on earth and perform various colorful pastimes. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Leela is extremely colorful. We have to enter into that Leela. Only then we'll understand the color. Krishna's pastimes is anyway colorful. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Krishna. He's Krishna himself. So we have this beautiful song by Sri Haridas Thakur. Anyway, we'll come to that. Yet bhavi kali kale prathama sandhyaya avatirna haila Krishna apani nadiyaya. So he's saying, thinking like this, Krishna himself appeared at Nadia early in the age of Kali. So 500 years ago, he appeared in Nadia. Now there is beautiful description about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's form. Okay, this is very nice to meditate on the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Simhera Nava Dvipe Avatara Simha Griva Simha Virya Simhera Hunkara. Chaitanya Simhera. Lord Chaitanya is compared to like a lion. This lion like Lord Chaitanya, he appeared in Navadvipa. Simha Griva, he has shoulders like that of a lion. Simha Virya, the powers of a lion. Simha Hunkara, Simera Hunkara, loud voice of a lion, like the roaring of a lion. Say Simha Vasuk Jivera Hridaya Kandare, Kalmashad Virada Nashe Yanhara Hunkare. So all of us have all these nice things in our heart, Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So what happens by the hunkara, by the loud sound of roaring sound of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who is so prayer here is, may that lion be seated in the core of our hearts. So once he's seated in the core of our hearts, then he will by his sound drive away all these anarthas that are sitting in our heart. And these anarthas are preventing us from achieving Krishna, from getting Krishna. Because unless we are pure, Krishna is not going to associate with us. And yeah, and like I said, in his early pastimes, he'll be called Vishwambara, and he will flood the whole world with nectar of devotion and save the living beings. His later pastimes, he'll be called Lord Sri Krishna Chaitanya, and then he blesses the whole world by teaching about the name and fame of Lord Sri Krishna. So, um, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a reason for appearance. Okay, so I'm going to discuss that. Mm. Okay, so there are few more verses describing Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, then we'll go to that reason. Tapta hema samakanti prakhanda sharira nava megha jini kantha dhvani ye gambhira. Saying the luster of his expansive body resembles molten gold. The deep sound of his voice conquers the thundering of new assembled clouds. Um, it's so rhyming actually. This whole Chaitanya Charitamrita is beautiful. दैर्घ्य विस्तारे आपनाराहत चारि हस्त हय महापुरुष विख्यात. One who measures 4 cubits in height, 4 cubits in height and in breadth by his own hand is celebrated as a great personality. Okay, now I don't know how this is measured, but it's measured. And somebody who measures 4 cubits in height and in breadth by his own hand, he's called Nyagroda Parimandala. Nyagroda Parimandala Haya Tara Nama Nyagroda Parimandala Tanu Chaitanya Guna Dhama. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had a form like this Nyagroda Parimandala, which is 4 cubits in height and width. And he personifies all good qualities and has the body of a Nyagroda Parimandala. Ajanulambita Bhuja Kamala Lochana Tila Fula Jini Nasha Sudham Shuvadana. Ajanulambita Bhuja. There's another verse, Ajanulambita Bhujao Kamalat Vatharo. So Ajanulambita means whose arms are long enough to reach his knees. It's called Ajanulambita Bhujao. So you can imagine the form of the Lord. His long arms reaching till his knees. Kamala Lochana, beautiful, big, lotus-like eyes. So this beautiful lotus-like eyes, actually it is said that it stretches till the ear. It expands till the ear, which means really big. And Tila Phula is sisem, til. हिंदी में तिल बोलते हैं, तिल. और yeah, til plant. So saying til phula, the flower, sisem flower. His nose is like sisem flower. Now we have to see sisem flower and then we can compare his nose. And Sudhamshu Vadana, Sudha Amshu. So his face is like as beautiful as the moon. So these descriptions we should register in our heads, right? He has Ajanulambita Bhuja, he has like arms which till his knees, he has Kamala Lochana, and then he Tilafula Jini, his nose is like Tilafula, and finally he has a beautiful face like that of a moon. And then his behavior says Shanta Danta Krishna Bhakti Nishta Parayana Bhakta Vatsala Shushila Sarvabhute Sama. Beautiful. Shanta is very peaceful. Danta means he is self-controlled. Bhakti, Krishna Bhakti Nishtha is fixed in Krishna Bhakti. Fixed in his service, fully devoted. He's Bhakta Vatsala. Just like Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala, he's also Bhakta Vatsala. And he's Shushila. He has all the good characters. And Sarva Bhute Sama, he is equal to all living entities. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu doesn't distinguish between whether somebody is born in a high family, low family, educated, uneducated. Everybody has the opportunity to get Krishna Prema. So he is Sarva Bhute Sama. Chandanera Angada Pala Chandana Bhushana Nitya Kale Parikhare na Krishna Sankirtana. He is decorated with sandalwood bangles. Without bangles only worn by women. No, he is decorated with sandalwood bangles and armlets and anointed with the pulp of sandalwood. His body is anointed with sandalwood. He especially wears these decorations to dance in Sri Krishna Sankirtana. He becomes so attractive that when he goes, the Nama is attracting people, his form is attracting people, and everybody simply just becomes a devotee of Krishna. Hey Sabha Gunalaya Muni Vaishampayana Sahasra Name Kaila Tandra Nama Ganana. So Shri Vaishampayana has recorded all these qualities in Vishnu Sahasranama. What are those? Suvarna Varna Hemango Varanga Chandanangadi Sanyasa Krichamashanto Nishta Shanti Parayanaha. Suvarna Varna Hemango. Hemanga means golden complexion. Suvarna Varna. And Varangas Chandanangadi. So he's beautiful and his body is smeared with Chandana Angadi. And looks like molten gold. Sannyasa Krichamashanto. He becomes sannyasi. He takes up the order of sannyasi. Nishta Shanti Parayana is the highest abode of peace and devotion. For he silences the impersonal non-devotees in that Prabhupada has added. So he's the highest abode of peace and devotion. So this is a verse from Vishnu Sahasranama, which is describing Lord Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Vyakta Kari Bhagavate Kahe Bara Bara Kali Yuge Dharma Nama Sankirtana Sara. Srimad Bhagavatam, it is repeatedly and clearly said that the essence of religion in the age of Kali is the chanting of the holy name of Krishna. So, what does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu come and do? Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sango Pangasta Parshadam Yagnai Sankirtana Prayer Yajanti Hi Sumedasaha. Krishna Varnam. This word Krishna Varnam means Krishna Varna means two syllables of the name Krishna, Krishna, or Krishna Varna. Description about Krishna. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Akrishnam. Akrishnam means Krishna is dark. Akrishnam is not dark. So he is a molten golden form. Sango Panga Astra Parshadam. Krishna has takes various weapons when he appears in his different avatars. And here also Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has weapons who are his associates. Sango Panga Astra Parshadam. Yagnai Sankirtana Prayer. So one who worships Yajanti Sumedasa, one who worships Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is engaged in Krishna Varnam, in glorifying the Lord, and who appears along with his devotees by Yagnaihi Sankirtana Praya. By the Sankirtana Yagna is Sumedasaha, is highly intelligent. So those who engage in Nama Sankirtana, and by engaging Nama Sankirtana, Lord is glorified, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is glorified. One who engages so is most intelligent. Sumedasaha. Medasaha means intelligent. Sumedasaha means super intelligent. Okay, so all of us have to engage in Nama Sankirtana. So these are all, this is the reason, as in this is the external reason. Okay, this is the external reason for Lord Chaitanya's appearance. Why did he appear? He appeared to give Krishna Prema, Vraja Prema. So he appeared to give Vraja Prema. And what is the process for Vraja Prema is Nama Sankirtana. So it looks like, so this chapter is entitled External Reasons. Looks like the Lord appeared for this reason. But there is another internal reason. Now, we are not going to discuss too much about this internal reason because it is beyond my ability to explain, but I will mention what it is. Okay, so the next chapter, chapter 4, talks about confidential reasons for the Lord's appearance. Okay, so here, so Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is saying, now I have given the reason. Satya ei hetu kintu eho bahiranga ara eka hetu shuna ache antaranga. So he's saying, now whatever reason I gave about for the appearance of Lord is bahiranga. It's external reason. Now I'm going to tell you one more. Please hear, which is the internal reason, antaranga. Purveyena prithivira bhara hari bhare Krishna avatirna hila shastre te prachare. Scriptures proclaim that Lord Krishna previously descended to take away the burden of earth. Swayam Bhagavanera karma nahe bharak harana sthiti karta Vishnu karena jagata palana. Very easy to understand Bengali. So taking away this burden is not Krishna's work. It is the work of Vishnu. Jagat palana is Vishnu's work. Kintu Krishnerai haya avatara kala bara harana kala tate haila mishala. So now what happened that the time for this removing the burden coincided with the time of for appearance of Lord Krishna. This is the 7th Manu 28th Chaturyuga. That time of the Dwapar Yuga is the time for this Paritranaya Sadhunam Yuga Dharma responsibility, as well as Krishna's Swayam Krishna's appearance. So both of them, he's saying it coincided. Purna Bhagavana avatare ei kale ara sabha avatara tante ashi mile. So Krishna appeared because it was time for him to appear. Then what happened? Ara sabha avatara, all other avatars, tante ashi mile, they came and merged into him, because Krishna is the source of all incarnations. So who all came? Beautiful. Narayana Chaturvyuha Matsyadi Avatara Yuga Manmantara Avatara Yata Ache Ara Sabe Ashi Krishna Ange Haya Avatirna Aiche Avatare Krishna Bhagavana Purna. So like this, Krishna is Purna Bhagavan, because Narayana Chaturvyuha. Chaturvyuha is Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Niruddha, Pratyumna. Matsya Adi Avatara. Matsya and other avatars. Yuga, Manvantara Avatara. All of these, Krishna Ange Haya Avatirna, all of them came down, or they incarnated, entered into the Lord's form. Hence he is Purna Bhagavan. Ataeva Vishnu Thakana Krishnera Sharire Vishnu Dware Khare Krishna Asura Samhare. Now that Vishnu has entered the body of Krishna, Krishna does all this Asura Samhara, killing of the demons, through Vishnu. He is not engaged in any fighting business. Fighting in all is left to Vishnu. Anusanga Karmai Asura Marana Elagi Avatara Kahi Se Mula Karana. So this killing of demons is secondary work. It's not the primary work. Now he's saying, now I'll tell you the primary work. Prema rasa niryasa karite asvadana raga marga bhakti loke karite pracharana rasika shekhara Krishna parama karuna ei dui hetu haite ichara udgama. Beautiful. It says prema rasa niryasa. Prema rasa niryasa is essence. Karite asvadana. To taste this essence of this prema rasa. Raga Marga Bhakti Loke Karite Pracharana. How does one enjoy this essence of Krishna Prema? Prema Rasa is through Raga Marga. So in the previous chapter, we discussed Vidhi Marga, Vidhi Bhakti. Now here is a mention of Raga Marga. So actually, as we progress in Vidhi Bhakti, gradually we should come to this Raganuga Bhakti, it is called. I will discuss about this some other time. So this, for giving this raga bhakti, Krishna came. Rasika Shekhara Krishna. Krishna is Rasika Shekhara. Rasika Shekhara is self. Do you translate? Prabhupada is translated as supremely jubilant. Mm. Very difficult to communicate. Rasika Shekhara, if somebody can understand local language, it's very easy. He's like the epitome of rasa. Rasika Shekhara. Krishna Parama Karuna is very, very compassionate, most merciful. So for these two reasons. One is he wanted to taste the sweet essence of mellows of love of God, and he wanted to propagate devotional service uh, to the world, this Raga Bhakti. So to give Raga Bhakti and to taste the mellow of love of God, he appeared. These are Antaranga. No, these are also not Antaranga. Um, okay, this is more internal reason. Um, Now Krishna is, and then there are various verses which are explaining how these four rasas are so intimate. Krishna really adores them, likes them, and how in all these rasas the devotees have no concept of Krishna being the Supreme Lord. So you can kindly read this fourth chapter. Um, so Krishna is saying, okay, I'm going to come with all these pure devotees. I'm going to appear in Golok, in Vrindavan, and this he's saying, these wonderful ways, they are unknown even in Vaikuntha. Vaikuntha people also don't know about this Raga Bhakti, because Vaikuntha means Vaidi Bhakti. They're saying, I shall broadcast such pastimes, by which even I am amazed. Krishna is saying, I am myself amazed by these pastimes, because it's just amazing. It's really amazing. Once we enter into the beauty of Krishna's pastimes. No, okay, this I will not get into. He's explaining how this Gopi Bhav manifests and all that, that we will do later. Um, Rajera Nirmala Raga Shuni Bhakta Gana Raga Marge Bhajayena Chadi Dharma Karma. So people are going to leave their Dharma Karma when they hear about this pure love of the residents of Raja. So that is why we have to hear Bhagavatam 10th canto. But to come to Bhagavatam 10th canto, we have to go through all the 9 cantos. Then we come to the 10th canto. When we come to the 10th canto, we will understand this Raja Prema. And Krishna is saying here that once people understand Raja Prema, then they will be attracted to serve me like in this mood, in the mood of the Braja Bhaktas, in the mood of those devotees who are staying in Brajadama. That is the reason he is doing all this pastimes. Okay. 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 Now is the main reason. Now is the main reason why Krishna appeared as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Now, till now we've heard two reasons which are external to some extent, right? The first one is extremely external, about the more closer to that is this raga bhakti and enjoying the mellows. Now the most the real reason, Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Ladini Shaktirasmat Ekatman Api Bhuvi Pura Deha Bhedam Gatau Chaitanyakhyam Prakatam Aduna Tadvayam Chaikyamaptam Radha Bhavatyuti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. Okay, so again, I'm not going to go into too much of details, but I'm just going to read this. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestations of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. Although Radha and Krishna are one in their identity, they separated themselves eternally. Now these two transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to him who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself. So this verse is saying that Krishna and Radharani together appear as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hmm. And he is manifested himself in the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani. That's why he's not black. He's Tvisha Krishnam. He's fair, golden complexion, because that is the color of Srimati Radharani. And that is also the color or is in line with his bhava, mood of Srimati Radharani. So though he's Krishna, he's completely enveloped by Radharani's mood and appearance. Hmm. So he appeared um, actually for three reasons. Let me read this from. Okay, I'm going to read from the first chapter. Hmm. 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 Yeah. Okay. Um, this is the reasons. Desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love. Okay, so three reasons are there. First is desiring to understand the glory of Radharani's love. Second is the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love. The Supreme Lord Hari, richly endowed with her emotions, appeared from the womb of Srimati Sachi Devi as the moon appeared from the ocean. Hmm. So three reasons to understand the glory of Radharani's love. Second, the wonderful qualities in him that she alone relishes through her love, and the happiness she feels when she realizes the sweetness of his love. Hmm. So this is the actual reason why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, why Krishna appeared as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But as a side effect, we got Krishna Prema. We got Nama Sankirtana in Kali Yuga, so that by following that process, we can actually achieve perfection and go back to Krishna. Okay. So this is a brief introduction about why or who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is none other than Krishna and Radharani together in one form. And the reason he appeared are ultimately to understand the love of Radharani towards Krishna. So Krishna is complete, Krishna is Sarvagna, he knows everything, but he cannot understand the extent of Radharani's love. And he says, okay, there's no other way because Radharani is a devotee. Now, how can I understand my devotee? I can understand my devotee only when I put myself into the shoes of my devotee. So Krishna appears in the mood of a devotee to understand the love that his most dearmost devotee has for him. So this is the beauty about Radharani's love, that Krishna himself cannot measure it or understand it. He has to come himself in a form, special form, to understand that love. Okay, so this is the beauty about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance. So he has come very mercifully. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurav Vishe Nama. So he's come to offer us actually very merciful, very merciful. Uh, Krishna, what does Krishna say in Bhagavad Gita? He says, Sarvadharman parityaja mamekam sharanam vrata. He says, surrender to me. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, don't worry, simply chant Hare Krishna. So he is even more merciful. But of course, I mean, if we surrender also, then the process becomes faster. But if we don't surrender, if we chant Hare Krishna, but we chant sincerely, we will anyway end up surrendering. So it's just a, but surrender is not a prerequisite for chanting Hare Krishna. This is the beauty of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Krishna doesn't accept us if you don't surrender. Hmm. So we have to do both. We have to surrender, and at the same time we should chant Hare Krishna. So this is the beautiful, I mean, it's glorious, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance and his pastimes. So tomorrow, hopefully all of you can join. Um, Tomorrow, day after, maybe, I think, maybe 2 days should be enough. We will cover, so I'm going to read from Chaitanya Bhagavat. Now Chaitanya Bhagavat is another, so Chaitanya Charitamrita was written by Sri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And Chaitanya Bhagavat is written by Vrindavan Das Thakur. Okay. Um, so all the mostly the child. So Chaitanya Charitamrita's focus is philosophy plus later pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Bhagavat initially, previously it used to be called Chaitanya Mangal. Chaitanya Bhagavat focuses on the early pastimes. It's nectarian. You all of you should get Chaitanya Bhagavat. Of course, you should read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Nectar of Devotion, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Then come to Chaitanya Bhagavat. huh? And so we're going to read from Chaitanya Bhagavat. Actually, it's very nectarian appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that we will see tomorrow. It's already an hour. Thank you all for your time and patience this late hour of the day. So we'll hopefully, Krishna willing, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu willing, continue this tomorrow. Okay, if anybody has any questions, you can kindly ask. I will stop the recording. Hare Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta ki jai. Hare Krishna.